Hey everyone, and welcome to the Game Week 21 team selection. Going to be a little less exciting than the last couple weeks as we've had blanks and doubles to talk about, but we are back to a normal 10 game Serie A week in fantasy. And therefore, we're all probably coming off our wild cards. Most people have probably used theirs in one way or another to this point, unless maybe you're not as active and you kind of quit the game early. And maybe some people have managed to keep it. I don't know, but I'm assuming there's been a reason to use it to this point mostly. But we're making our way off of the wild card now and into the basically last, what is it, like 18, 19 games of the season, somewhere in there. A couple teams with games in hand that need to be addressed as well. And my team here, first of all, I'm going to try to go through this game week without using a transfer. I like to come off my wild cards and aim to believe in the wild card that I made, and that it was not only just set up good for the one double game week, but set up well for the future as well, and not use any transfers and bank some up. So that is my goal going to this week, not any big transfer news to talk about. If anyone knows the situation with Pulisic, is he injured? He came off at halftime in the last game of the double game week. I know the app that I use said that it might have come off with an injury, so I'm not really sure the state there. But if you know, let me know. Anyway, we'll start with the team and some of the reasons behind choosing things. So I have Samir, and yes, you see the captaincy on a goalkeeper, which I think is generally kind of rare for if like you basically would never captain a goalkeeper in fantasy Premier League, let's say, but defensive points are easier to come across in Serie A fantasy due to clean sheets being gathered by the half. It actually makes a massive difference. You can generally count on a team to not get scored on in a half unless they're really down towards the bottom half of the table. Obviously, it's not 100% that it's going to happen all the time, but especially when you're backing a good team against a weaker team, generally they might get scored on overall in the game, which would make them bad in the rules of Premier League. But in Serie A, you can normally back them to keep a clean sheet for a half. And so because Trem is kind of out of form right now, Lautaro Martinez is the inter striker in form currently. And I'm not totally thrilled about my front or six, let's say, attackers right now. Catrona has been kind of good. Moise Kean has been good up until last game, really. And the rest of the players aren't super in form right now, would I say. Lookman didn't score at all during the double game week. Thuram sat most of the first game, didn't score in the whole 90 minutes in the second game. And then Freuler, if there's a player that I kind of regret, I wish I kind of looked into getting a better Bologna midfielder. I think I just probably went through when I was going through Bologna and saw the one with the most points thus far. And Freuler kind of reminds me of when I had Ederson with Atalanta, how he's like you're ticking along 4, 5, 6 points a game week, mostly for playing the odd clean sheet point and maybe tackles, blocks, and interceptions points. And that's not terrible, but you're never really expecting a big explosive return, I think, from Froila. And so I'm fine. Obviously, he's a cheaper price, 5.4. Like he's not breaking the bank by any means. But just kind of wish maybe I went elsewhere with that Bologna player pick. Anyway, this is the team that I have. I don't want to make transfers. This is what I'm going to use. So we have Somer as captain, starting over Suzuki, who also has a really good fixture in Venezia. But I think I'm going to back Inter being the stronger team, also facing a relatively weak team. Who Empoli is good defensively, but I'm backing the Inter defense themselves. And Empoli is generally not as good attacking, even though Esposito and Colombo have been pretty good this season, but I'm going to back that into defense. We have Di Lorenzo starting again now that it's not a double game week. Di Lorenzo is probably just a set and forget, as well as Teo Hernandez, who's looked pretty good under Conte. So it's a little unfortunate that it's against Juve, and I'm almost backing my Milan players over my Juve player. Well, I am. It's not almost like I have both Milan players in the starting lineup and both Juve players on the bench. So if you think I'm just playing with my heart, there's proof that I'm not. But Juve doesn't look like beating anyone right now because they haven't been. They've just been handing out single points everywhere. And while they're good enough to not be beaten yet, they're just not doing what a team like Juve should be doing. And they're generally not getting the clean sheets with it either. It's a lot of there's a lot of getting the lead and giving away the lead. So it's not like they're keeping the clean sheets really either. We also have Dodo facing Torino. Again, could be very low scoring, like Milan Juve. I could see that ending 0-0. Dodo, Fiorentina and Torino, I could see that ending 0-0. We know Torino's defense is very strong. And then against Monza, we're hoping for a good result for Bologna there against last place in the league, despite Monza beating Fiorentina last week. In the midfield, we have Pulisic. I don't know about the injury situation. I'd say he's just a player you don't bench if he's not injured. So he's in the lineup right now. And Freuler again, I'm gonna back the fixture here because Yildiz. What worries me about Yildiz is he has played 2 games in close succession and is someone that has been rotated this year. So not only I don't want him just coming on for a cameo or something like that, but also that cameo will be against Milan. And in no way have I heard team news that he's not starting. But I just know that potential is there for him not to start, especially after playing 2 games in close succession. So that's why I'm kind of having him on the bench, even though he definitely has the potential for a bigger point hold than Freuler does. I've just chosen Lookman over CDK, especially with Retegui back in the mix now. There's potential like those 3 start rotating a bit. Sometimes all 3 of them will play. If I hear any team news for Atalanta that Lookman is not playing and CDK is, well, I'd just make that straight swap, but I'm gonna only pick one of the Atalanta midfielders. Hopefully I get that pick right. It'd be tough seeing CDK score a hat trick and Lookman get nothing, owning them both. Then for the front 3, we have Trem. Obviously, I'm not going to bench him or anything against Empoli. It's still a fixture that he could do well in. And if he does go and get another hat trick, at least I still own him as a player. Then we have Cutrone, who has had a good season so far, almost scored again last game, and did score in the first game of the double, so I was happy with that pick. Against Udinese, could definitely find that out again. And Moise Kean, finally back in the squads. That probably means all of the goals have dried up because I got rid of him and then he started scoring every game week. And now that I've got him back, we'll see if now he stops all of a sudden. So that is what the team is looking like. Like I said, not intending on making any transfers. Let me know if you've heard any team news about these guys, especially what's happening around Pulisic. Also, one player that I just haven't mentioned yet is Cambiaso. Sounds like very strong transfer links to City, which I really hope that doesn't happen because I do like Cambiaso and I don't know why Juve would get rid of him. He's one of the players that they need right now. Like they did bring in, I guess, I think it's Muani from oh my gosh. Who they I'm blanking on where they got him from now as a PSG or something. Anyway, first another attacking option. But so they are making the signings up front that they need. But Cambiaso is one of the people that should be starting week in, week out, not the one to be getting rid of right now. So I hope that that transfer falls through. But we'll see what happens there. So, yeah, but I'm not planning on starting them this week. Anyway, again, has been someone with a chance of rotation and with the strong transfer links that even gives it potential more of a reason for him not to start. But that is how the team's looking. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I think we just hit 640 subscribers, so let's get to 650. And I'll talk to you all again soon. Good luck this game week. Take care.